All right, so what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cage Cult podcast. Today I'm being joined by Denis Frimpong, who's fresh off the Oktagon Challenge, Manchester top team fighter that's sort of been around the scene for a while now. Hopefully, get some information on how the whole situation went. How you keeping, Denis?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Obviously, a bit of a bruised ego from the weekend. Licking me wounds a little bit, enjoying, as you can see, enjoying being fat for a few days. Eating all the food I can eat, and yeah, hungry to get back in there and right those wrongs.
Yeah, but let's just get fired into the show then. We'll start off with your first fight. It sort of it went about as good as it could go with the finish. It very much felt like after the first few minutes in the first round, I think it was actually when you landed a knee sort of at the body, and then you looked at him and sort of taunted him a bit and started applying pressure. Do you think it was always just a matter of time of waiting it out, letting him sort of blow his load, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't start as fast as I thought he'd start. I thought he'd come out like a bat out of hell just because of all the shit talk. So he kind of surprised me a little bit with sorry, one second, just get a bit more. Yeah, he kind of surprised me a little bit with how composed he came out, but yeah, he still came out swinging quite heavy. I felt him slow down after about 2.5 minutes into the first round, and like you say, it was accumulation of a few knees to the body. I think I need him in the head at one stage, and broke his nose. And that was when I pointed at him like, I got you, And yeah, from that point on, it was I just started coming into my rhythm and landing good shots.
Yeah, even when it was sort of trying to throw the heavy shots and stuff, you always sort of looked as though you knew what you were waiting on and you knew what was coming. Was it what that fight must have been when you were pretty confident going into?
Yeah, I mean, he did come out like he was throwing his whole body weight behind every shot, and he did land a few shots, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when I ate those shots, I was just like, oh, okay, that's all he's got. The shots aren't going to get any harder now. They're actually going to get lighter now. So I started gaining confidence, and I started being willing to go in the pocket a little more with him, trade a little bit more with him. I was landing some nice counter shots. Like he'd hit me, but I'd hit him harder in that exchange just because of the angles that I made and stuff, and the momentum that I had. I could see every shot, even the ones that landed. Like the ones that you see don't really hurt as much because you can kind of like brace a little bit for them. So yeah, once I went through that first like little bit of hell, I knew that it was only going to be smooth sailing.
Yeah, so for the knockout of the season, on to the fight of the season, against Bo Gavin, it felt like it was a really strong fighter. He had the will to win, but you just had maybe a few more skills than him, and that's what sort of played out in the end was the skill difference. Would you say that's sort of a fair assessment?
Is that with Bo or with Hassan?
With Bo, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like yeah, with Bo, he's got skills. He's got like high level skills. He's been training a long time. His dad's a kickboxing coach. He's been training his whole life. And to be honest, I think a big turning point was obviously the first round. A lot of people might not know. It wasn't really mentioned on the show or anything like that. But in that first round, he blocked the head kick that I threw, and it broke his arm.
Oh.
So his left arm was actually broken, his left forearm, and then his right arm, the shoulder came out of the socket during the grappling exchanges when he took me down. I think I might have wizarded on it and popped his shoulder out. So he had basically no arms for the last two rounds. So he's coming in a bit compromised in those last two rounds. And as well as that, I just started finding my timing. I started finding my shots and I started finding my flow. And I honestly believe that when I get momentum and I get into my flow, I'm better than anyone in the world. I believe I can beat anyone in the world when I get into my flow state. And when I get comfortable and I find my range, I find my timing. I can just land shots on people at will. and avoid getting hit. So I think that's what happened. I don't think it was like a massive skill difference. I think Bo and I have a very similar skill level, I would say. Like I wouldn't say like it's a massive skill gap. It was a very well matched fight.
Yeah.
I think like, you know, obviously he's a different body type to myself. He's a short, stocky guy. I'm a tall, rangy guy. But I think it was a well matched fight, and you know, as you say, fight of the season, of the whole show. I think it was, yeah, I think it was one that the fans enjoyed. I think I enjoyed it. Bo enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone that was in attendance enjoyed it. So it was a win-win
Yeah.
for everyone. It was a win-win for the promotion, for myself. You know, yeah, it was good.
I think skill difference might have been a bad way to phrase it. I was sort of more picking up on when I was watching the fight, you were sort of placing your shots with more intention. You know, like things like the body kicks and stuff like that were sort of setting you up for success in the later round. So maybe not overall skills, but perhaps the precision and stuff like that
Yeah.
that you were using behind yours, whereas he was trying to sort of wrestle you to the ground and maybe not being as precise with his striking, but rather just try to knock your head off.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's exactly it. I was just touching. I wasn't like throwing massive commitment into any shots. I was just looking to land. Especially once I seen he was bleeding. I seen that like every time I just threw like a nice shot out, it would just land, and I would just beat him to the punch a little bit and throw his timing off. So yeah, as I say, once I found my timing and I found my rhythm and my flow, I think that was a wrap for the fight. You know.
Yeah, would you say that's probably one of your biggest skills as a fighter, is being able to sort of get into that flow state? 'Cause a lot of people have to sort of force their shots and stuff like that, whereas it feels like when you get into the sort of into the rhythm of the fight, um, you seem to find things with a lot more ease than perhaps a lot of the other fighters.
Yeah, I would say that's a big attribute of mine. Yeah, I'm not a massive fast starter. I'll be honest. Like I only have one first round finish. Um, I think like yeah, I'm more of an accumulation based fighter. I'm more like takes me around maybe a round and a half to sort of get into my rhythm, and but once I do, I oftentimes can run away with it because like you say, I have those precise shots. Like I can see the shots then, and once I've built my setups and my traps, I can start to land. You know, and yeah, that's where I think one of my biggest attributes is.
So moving on to the final, of course, it didn't go your way against George Staines, but it sort of feels like you've ran into one of the best prospects in the country at his perfect time. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like he's just a really strong grappler, really high pressure, and yeah, there's a very good chance he's a name that a lot of people are going to know over the next
Yeah,
couple of years.
yeah, 100%. I think obviously it didn't go my way. He came in with a very good game plan. You know, obviously as anyone could see by in the fight, he didn't want anything to do with having a scrap with me. You know, on the feet. He's seen what I did to Hassan, what I did to Bo. And I can't fault him for that. We're doing MMA. We're not doing kickboxing. You know, so he had his game. I had mine. I had spent that camp preparing for what he was going to try and do, but I'll be honest. Like even for a 16-week camp, 16 weeks, I don't think is enough to sort of overcome the gap in our wrestling, in our grappling. You know, I did feel like my guard would be enough to sort of let me be able to get back up. There was moments where I feel like I could have got back up, but he was very tenacious with it. He was very adamant on not letting me up. So yeah, I can't fault it. You know, I made a few mistakes, but he came in with a good game plan. I can't take anything away from him. You know, and like you say, he is, if not the biggest prospect, one of the biggest prospects in the region, in the continent. You know, at the end of the day, he's a European champion at the IMAFs. He was a world bronze medalist at the IMAFs. And like it's a fight I have been looking for. You know, I want to test myself against the best. You know, because the way I see it, if I run away from him, like I'm gonna have to fight people like that eventually anyway. So I'd rather do it now and be able to go back to the drawing board and see what I did wrong, and you know, add those skills to my game, add those skills to my skill set, so that I can be prepared later on down the line when it really counts. You know, yeah, like at the end of the day, like he's been doing this. He's a lifelong martial artist. He's been doing this a long time, and he's been doing that to people, to everyone, for a long time.
Yep.
And I've not been doing this sport a long time. I'm a baby in the game. He's been doing it since he's a baby. You know, yeah, I'm in the sport 2.5 years. You know, so for me, even though I lost, like for me to have gotten to perform in front of that sort of an arena, on probably the biggest show in Europe, the biggest promotion in Europe, um, in front of a crowd like that. The walkout was incredible. The camp was incredible. I learned so much in the camp. I improved so much in the camp, even though I didn't get to show the improvements, you know, and I'm a bit disappointed with that. But yeah, you know, it's good. It's skills that I'm going to take forward into the next camp and into the next fight. So yeah, it is what it is, you know. Yeah, you know, I think that fight is his pro debut, and that win on his record is going to look a lot more impressive in a few years when I go to do what I'm going to do. And I also think that him being a loss on my record isn't going to take anything away from my stock when people see what he goes on to do. And he, who knows, maybe like we'll meet again in a few years for the real Octagon belt, you know. But I think that both of us are going to go on to do big things in Octagon. I think we're going to be two forces to be reckoned with, and yeah, people are gonna really look back at that fight and realize what an integral fight it was for the scene, for the regional scene, and for Octagon as a whole.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know about IMAF and stuff like that, it's basically the amateurs sort of worlds. And guys like Mohamed Mokaev pretty much just gained all of his skills from there. And George Staines was something like 15-1 overall in his amateur career, which is, I think it was pretty, he had a fair few more fights than yourself in the amateur scene. I think that's where
Yeah.
I'd first heard of you, was I was covering a few of the sort of old ones back in like 2022, 2021. But yeah, it really is a world-class prospect, which it's a bit unfair to sort of make your first couple of fights on your record. Like, you guys should have probably met in the amateurs. Do you know what I mean? That would have made the
Yeah,
most sense.
it is what it is. We should have met in the amateurs, but at least, you know, for the fight that we had, we both got paid. You know what I mean? Like that's the important part. We got to show that fight on a big show, and a lot of people got to be introduced to us both. So I'm not disappointed with that. And like I say, I think that we probably will meet again in the future. You know, if destiny allows it. Um, and yeah, like, you know, like I'll be honest, like for me, I train with world class guys every day, and
Yep. Manchester top team, for anyone who
yeah, you know, we've got UFC
doesn't know.
guys in there, Bellator guys, PFL guys, and even guys that aren't signed to major promotions yet, but have got world class skills and are going to do big things on the world class scene. Um, and from what I felt from George in there, he felt unlike anyone I've ever fought before. He definitely felt like world class. You know, in those positions, in that style, he is world class. As I say, I can't take that away from him. But you know, for me to go into the fourth round with a guy like that, it gave me a lot of
Yeah,
confidence as well. You know,
that must
it's
be
only my
frustrating. It'd
no,
been
no.
a
I mean,
fourth
I mean,
round sort of finish. If it was a 3-round one, it would have been a decision. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, but at the same time, like it's only my third pro fight, and
Which is wild. It'd been a 5-rounder for that.
yeah, you know, and I made championship weight. I went into the fourth round. Um, got a nasty little cut. You know what I mean? Like I have a few stitches. First time I've been cut like that. Um, but yeah, look, like there's a lot of takeaways for myself for it, and yeah, it was the energy in the stadium as well was just electric, and I'll take that experience as well. Like, there's a lot to take from it. I have, you know, nearly 20 minutes of fight cage time now to go back and look at and analyze. And you know, this year alone, I've had over an hour in the cage. You know, I've had two 15-minute fights, went decisions. I've had obviously the fight with Hassan went into the second round, and I've had a fight that's gone into the fourth round. So yeah, it's been a good year. You know, it's been a
Yeah,
good year. I can't fault it. You know.
that's one of those things that like people might not think about, is getting all that cage time and all these high pressure situations and stuff like that. It only goes in your favor. How was the
100%.
experience of sort of fighting in that the sort of empty arena type deal on the show? Did you find it a bit weird not having a crowd there and things like that?
You know what was so weird for it? It was that I could hear my coaches clearly on the show because of the fact it was quiet. I could hear instructions so clearly, and then going from that to fighting in the AO arena where it was so loud, I couldn't hear a thing my coaches were saying. Even when I was right in my corner, I could barely hear what they were saying. You know, obviously that had a bit to do with his pressure as well, and the fact that he was just landing a lot of volume, like little short shots, little small shots, um, that were making me not think about what my corner is saying and making me think about the fact that I'm getting punched in the face. And for anyone that's not been in that sort of a situation, like it's hard to understand. But yeah, it was surreal. I actually kind of enjoyed fighting in the on the show, you know, where it was a
Yeah.
small crowd because, like I said, I could hear everything. Um, I didn't mind it too much, you know. But it was just a stark change from going from that to massive crowd, loads of booze, loads of noise. So it was, yeah, it was a big difference. But I took it all in, you know. I just took it all in.
And the sort of house situation, how did you find that? I can't imagine anything worse, to be honest with you. Just a sort of bunch of guys waiting to fight with anxiety, and there's just so many reasons I couldn't do it.
For me, it was grand, to be honest. Like I was the
Yeah.
main antagonist on the show, you know. So I think for it was probably worse for the other guys, but I probably wouldn't do anything like that again. It was a bit weird, to be honest. Like fighting someone when you're eating breakfast with them that morning, and then coming back to the house after you fought them, and then being in the house with them and that. Like it was weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was weird, but again, it was just another bit of experience, another like layer of the game that I learned. So
Yeah. So is the plan in the future to stay with Oktagon now?
yeah, so I believe I'm signed to Octagon now. I'm gonna try and get on that Newcastle card potentially. Um, so that's in like another 3 months or so, end of January. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna try and smash the fights out, get the record up again. Maybe fight a few Czech guys, a few Slovakian guys, a few Germans. You know, yeah, and we'll see where it takes me. But yeah, that lightweight division in Octagon is not safe from me. Regardless, people can have their little week now of taking the piss at me. Obviously, I chat a lot of shit, so it's a high risk, high reward game. You know, being the villain, because a lot of people want to see you lose. When you win, they say you're going to lose the next one, and then when you lose, obviously they have their little celebration. But what I love about this sport is that it is people have short memories, you know. So people will have their little week of taking the piss out of me, and then obviously UFC will happen this weekend. People will watch that, and then they'll have that to talk about, and they'll forget all about the fact that me and George just fought, you know.
Yeah, I think there's no real way to sort of lose out of this. I mean, by the time your third pro fight came around, you've sort of been on Channel 4 and then fought live on Channel 4. Do you know, I feel as though Octagon have made this investment in you this early on and you've proven yourself. I don't know, man, you might have a shorter route to the title than most. Never know.
I don't know. I don't know if I want a short route to the title. You know, I want to
Get that experience.
I want to get that experience in. I want to fight a few guys. I want to fight a few strikers. You know, fuck these wrestlers for now. I want to get some time to work on my wrestling defense and my get ups. Fight a few strikers. You know, have a few knocks. Because at the end of the day, like, obviously it's nice getting paid, it's nice getting belts, it's nice getting all that, but I didn't start this sport for that. I started this sport because I like having a knock. Do you know what I mean? I don't particularly like having someone hold on to me on the ground. I like just standing and let's have a fight. You know what I mean? And let's see who can land more. Let's see who can knock the other out. You know.
Yeah, especially with guys like George, it feels like he's got quite a frustrating style of wrestling where he doesn't want to make any mistakes, so he doesn't move very much. He just wants to hold you there and make you work to get up.
Yeah. It is frustrating. It is frustrating, but look, it's fucking effective. So
that's all that counts.
Maybe I'm gonna get him to come down and do a bit of training with me. Go out and do a bit of training with him. So maybe I can start doing that to people a little bit, but that'll take time, you know. So for the time being, I just want to have a few knocks with people. At the end of the day, like I'm a showman. I like entertaining the crowd. So I know what they want to see. They want to see boys standing in the middle. They want to see blood. They want to see us stand in the middle and have a scrap. You know what I mean? Because most people
that was the Irish party, innit?
Yeah, you know, most fans can't understand the little intricacies of what George was doing to me and the little reasons that I couldn't stand up, what he was doing to stop me getting up. But they understand a shin to the side of the head. They understand a 1-2 combination down the pipe. So let's give them what they understand. You know what I mean? Let's give them a few scraps. Let's make it entertaining. I'm here to be an entertainer. You know, I want to be one of those guys that, like, even when they lose, they can't lose. You know, like a Kevin Holland, like a Nick Diaz, like a Nate Diaz, like a Diego Sanchez. You know, I just want to entertain the fans. That's what I'm here for. You know, I want to entertain them before the fight with the trash talk. I want to entertain them in the fight with the fight itself, and get them buzzed for it. You know, make sure people want to come see me fight, regardless of what the result is, or regardless of what they want the result to be. Whether they want me to lose or they want me to win, let's give them something to watch.
It feels very much like it's in the Irish nature to want to fight and entertain as opposed to just win. Do you know what I mean? It feels very much as though like Irish people. I was over there in February, and there's a small gym. It's called Coleman's Combat.
Yeah, and Coleman Combat. Yeah.
Oh, do you know it?
Yeah.
So I was over there, and the guy that owns the gym, we were out sort of walking down the street, and he was asking me what hotel I was in, and he had me believing I was going to get shot because I told him it was the Bonington.
Yeah.
And he's like, it used to be called the Regency. Go home and go back to the hotel and Google it. It had me sitting there for fucking 3 days paranoid because I'd brought only blue clothes and stuff like that, man. But yeah, so if you're all right, I'm going to get your opinion on some of the UFC 295 fights.
Yeah.
So in the main event, we've got Yuri versus Alex Pereira. To me, that one's it only ends in one way, and it's some kind of chaotic, brutal knockout. What's your thoughts on that one?
I believe that Poatan is going to land something heavy with the hands and knock Yuri out. I think he gets hit too much. He has an awkward style, but I think he just gets hit too much, and his chin's gotten him through a lot of stuff. But when it comes to Alex Pereira hitting you, it's a different ball game, you know. So I believe that it'll be a first round knockout for Alex Pereira.
First round. See, I think Alex catches him as well. It feels like Yuri's just too open. Like he's effective against people that are hesitant to strike, but I feel like Alex it has to be an early knockout, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Interim heavyweight championship, Pavlovich versus obviously Tom Aspinall. Everybody here knows about that one. What do you reckon? Tom take him out nice and early?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. I think it's a tough fight for him. It's a short notice fight. Um, I want Tom to get it done. But it's a tough fight. I think it'll be a good fight. I think it could go decision, where Tom maybe takes the decision, maybe a split decision.
See, the thing with Pavlovich is I can't quite make up my mind how good he is. It's sort of hard to tell with the way his fights go. But he very much could be the Russian Francis Ngannou, or Tom could completely outclass him here. So, you know what I mean? It's a tight fight.
I think Pavlovich is better than people think. He's only really lost one fight, I believe, isn't it?
Double check. Yeah, one fight he lost, and that was to Alistair Overeem on his UFC debut.
Yeah,
that was way in 2018.
Yeah, and no one's beaten him since. So I don't know. It's one of them. Like, it's going to be a good fight. It's a hard one. I wouldn't put money on that fight anyway. That's all I'm saying.
I was just looking there. Tom's 13-3, but for some reason, his records might be way better.
You see, with heavyweights, like 13-3 is a sick record for a heavyweight. You know.
Yeah. To be fair,
like it's not many unbeaten heavyweights out there. It's just not. Anyone can put you out. The shittest guy in the UFC at heavyweight can knock you out if he clips you. So yeah, it's tough. But I think one of those losses is from an injury as well, isn't it? So
yeah, the Curtis Blades one, that was can't really be counting that. And to be fair, his other two losses were really early in his career as well, so it can't really take too much from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the other fight I'll try and get your opinion on: Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern.
Oof. I think Mackenzie Dern has elite level jiu-jitsu. She can catch anyone in a submission, but I just think Jessica Andrade is too experienced, and her submission defense and her anti-grappling is going to be too good, and she's going to end up punching Mackenzie Dern up. I believe that it'll end up on the ground in the first round. Mackenzie Dern will try a few of her good submissions, might not work, and then second round, Andrade will just stick it on her on the feet. Mackenzie Dern will quit, and Andrade might even end up submitting her.
I don't know. I feel like Andrade, every time I see her, she's a different fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. One night you'll see her and she's knocking people out, and you think, for a woman that she can actually hit. Next time out, she doesn't throw a single strike and wants to grapple the whole fight. And then the fight after that, she looks like she can't be bothered to show up. Was it 3-fight loss streak, all by stoppage? She's on.
Is she on a 3-fight loss streak? Who are those fights against though?
Erin Blanchfield got her by a rear naked choke. Xionan Yan knocked her out with a counter right, and then Suarez by a guillotine choke.
I might change my opinion on that. Maybe Mackenzie Dern gets it done then.
Yeah, if she's lost twice by submission.
Yeah. I'll change my opinion on that then. I think Mackenzie Dern might get it done in that case. But like you say, Andrade could show up on the night and just batter her. Like, do you know what I mean? It's one of them.
Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I've got for you this time. Hopefully get you on when you get a fight announcement lined up. And yeah, Menace MMA TV for the YouTube. And it's where are we? Just search Denis Frimpong on Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description. You got anything else you've got to shout out?
There's only one Denis Frimpong.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for your time, mate.
No, I appreciate you having me on, lad.
And yeah, look forward to see what you've got cooked up next, man.
Nice one, lad. Appreciate it. Chat to you soon, lad.